When I was learning architecture, I saw only two things. It's lines and numbers. And when I saw the trading charts, when I got introduced to blockchain, I saw it's the same thing.
Meet Akash Ghadiyali, the architect turned trader who blended design thinking with financial markets. From sketching blueprints to building trading strategies, he carved out a unique edge in both architecture and Forex.
You need to find clarity in complexity. Trading is like a profession. You cannot consider it as your side hustle. If I ask any trader what you are up to, okay, I'm doing trading, but I also manage the business. I'm doing this, I'm also doing that. It doesn't work like that.
Today, he runs his own firm while developing quant-based trading systems, and he's preparing to launch his own hedge fund here in Dubai.
Everybody have limited amount of time in this life. You can buy everything, but you cannot time buy. You see a lot of hedge funds right now, they've already started using the quant. Rather than having a traders team, they are actually now having a technical team who is actually making scripts for them. Because of so much of transactions happening, trading style needs to be faster. To accommodate that, we need to take help of.
Akash,
Hello.
thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thank you so much.
This is your first podcast, so I really appreciate your presence here. And yeah, we've met at a couple conferences here at Dubai. You do a lot of things, but your kind of unique path here is being an architect and a trader. Mm-hmm. So what I like to do before we start the podcast, I like to ask our guests this question to every single one, is if someone were to click on this 60-minute long, hour-long podcast, and they're wondering what type of value they're going to get from this conversation, what would you directly tell them?
And just in a one-liner, life has a lot of paths. It's not necessary that what path you have selected, you should be just moving on the same path. You can just go left or right and find out the ultimate goal is not where you are looking at, but it can be anywhere on the left or the right.
That's very well said. And you're someone as a trader that you believe that architecture has developed your edge. But before we get into talking about how architecture shaped your edge in trading, I kind of want to get to know you and have the audience get to know you a little bit more. What was it like growing up in India?
So when you compare, first of all, when I moved to Dubai and when I see myself growing up in India, the main difference is how there are different kinds of people around. You don't find much people who are, thinking different. Everybody's have the same ideology around you. If you go out in the morning, if you come back in the evening, you have everybody thinking in the same direction. So you do not have a multi-directional thoughts ever, even anybody around you.
And can you describe what is that thought process and mindset to where you grew up in? Like, what is a usual person's life?
Everybody have like 3 or 4 predefined sets by their parents. In India, we have a lot of connection with our parents and our elder people. They will decide us either engineering, either doctor, or either any kind of, like a CA or into a MBA or all that stuff. That is the only thing, because the parents have also developed their mindset in such a way that the maximum they know is through their networks. So whatever they know, they want to implement that on the kids.
So what did your parents have destined for you?
I was been sent to a boarding school. I never studied where I was born or where my parents were. I was sent to a boarding school, which was like very far from where my hometown is. And when I went to the boarding school, actually that is what a major turning, road was on my life. Because when you go to a boarding school, you are cut off from the society. You're cut off from your hometown. You're cut off from your old friends. All you have to build is new people, new network, not from the same ethnicity. They come from different backgrounds. They come from different, ideology of the parents. So to develop yourself with them was also an edge for me.
And being sent to boarding school at a young age, was that from being a misbehaved child?
Not really. My parents were working. Both of my parents were working. So, I need to be taken care of, my sports, my academics, everything. So it was a good decision by them. I'm really thankful for them to send me to the boarding school.
And as being a student in boarding school, what was kind of your goal and motivation? Like, what were you chasing after?
So whenever we visit a boarding school, if you see all the students there, they have only 2 goals. Either they have to be good in academics or they have to be good in sports. I was a national swimmer. Okay, so
really?
Yeah. So my goal.
I would not expect you to be a swimmer. That's impressive. Okay.
So I wanted to be like an Olympic swimmer. And then as I grew up, I wanted to be in a merchant navy or something related to water, ocean, or probably a marine engineer or designing a yacht. So that is where I actually, I had those things before. And when you see other people, everybody was like, they are either a boxer, a footballer, a musician, a topper in the mathematicians. There are different people you see everywhere. when you are in the boarding school. But when I came back to my hometown just in the vacations, I see everybody playing just like few sports, everybody talking about few topics, and that's it. But when in the boarding school, you have diverse mindsets.
Is that what drew you to becoming an architecture and studying at a prestigious school for architecture?
Not at all, not at all. So what came across after I'm done with my 12th grade, one of my friend, he was doing a course on architecture to join an architecture college. So he told me that, I'm getting bored. I'm alone here for the classes. If you're free, you can come up. I like, okay, I have time. After 12th grade, I went to him. We had 15 days of course, which we never attended. I just attended like a week's course. And then when the exam was there, I somehow passed it because it was so simple. The drawing, I was good at sketching. I was good at drawing. So I somehow passed it. And then I came to know that I've been selected in India's most prestigious architecture college, which I didn't even knew about.
Wow.
And
Coincidental.
Oh yeah. And then my friend, he was like, okay, you got it. I didn't, but you can carry on with the school. I was like, okay. I talked with my parents. I talked with my other friends. They were like, okay, this is a good opportunity. You should go because it's like very tough. There are only 5 people selected across India.
And how many applicants do you think are applying per year?
More than 100,000. More than
Impressive.
100,000. Yeah.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Wow. You go to one of the most prestigious architecture schools in India. You end up becoming architecture. And now I know, of course, outside of this, we had conversations. You own your own architecture firm.
From back in India. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really impressive. What is, I guess, the biggest lesson that architecture has taught you when it comes to trading?
So when I was learning architecture, I saw only 2 things. It's very simple. It's lines and numbers. You have to develop your ability to project what you are thinking on the piece of paper and how to implement on the real life. That's it. Whatever you have in your mind, you just need to take it down on the pen and paper. That's it. And when I saw the trading charts, when I got introduced to blockchain, decentralized Web3 and all that subjects, I saw it's the same thing. You need to find clarity in complexity. Your mind is very complex. You need to find clarity, put it out. Same way, on the trading platform, it's quite complex. But you just need to find the edge, find the clarity, and you're done.
When did you realize that architecture wasn't the only pathway for you in this life? How did trading even come across, your table?
So the moment while I was, in the school, few of my senior friends, they told me about crypto. And back in India, if you go back in 2014 15, not much people knew about how it's going to grow. Yeah.
2015 you're into crypto.
2016 17. Yeah. So during that time, few of my seniors, they were talking about it, but they were reluctant and they were just like, oh, there's something new coming, blah blah blah. And I was like, okay. I did deep research on it. I understood that I was much more drawn towards the metaverse part of the whole decentralized. Yeah.
Were you a gamer? Is that why? Were you like
exactly,
a gamer?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was doing a lot of research on metaverse. So my thesis topic was also quite, around the metaverse topic. And when I was understanding how the metaverse would look like or be deployed on the blockchain, all that stuff, then I came to know about the charts, the Web3 and all that stuff.
I'm really curious. You did a thesis on metaverse. What is your initial thought? Do you think the metaverse is something that's possible? Because of course there was many projects in crypto that tried to promise a metaverse and never happened. I mean, no one really knows what exactly it is, like whether it's something like the Matrix or something like Ready Player One. What was your idea of the metaverse?
In my opinion, if you see, the future holds for people who do not want to actually go out and work physically anymore. They're trying to get back themselves in a box on the screen and try to build whatever they have inside the screen onto the cloud. So the future holds good for metaverse. The future holds goods for the tech. The future holds goods assets on the blockchain. Now the tokenization is already on the verge of booming across globe. Even in India, you see real estate tokenization. There are laws, and the lawmakers are there to understand whole stuff, how they're gonna get the assets, like the physical assets, and into the tokenization. So it's already happening. Once it's there, the second phase will be developing that tokenization in such a manner that that asset would have a value for a lot of people across the globe.
Metaverse was the thing that kind of got you into crypto, And of course, when you get into crypto, you realize, oh, you can actually trade assets. What was your first crypto investment? I'm very curious.
So my first crypto was obviously BTC, Bitcoin, and I didn't actually bought it the first time. I made one of my cousin buy it because I was too much occupied in architecture, too much occupied in designing, execution. You know, when you're into an architecture school, the morning till evening, it doesn't work like that. It works like morning till the next morning. So we have to be up the whole night to design, to make the models and do the drawings. I was so much occupied that I asked my cousin to do it. And after 6 months, probably, I still remember, after 6 months, and he told me, oh, it grew so much. Like, oh, really? And then I jumped in really big.
I'm curious, like the first crypto investment you made, are you still holding it till today? How long were you in your position for?
I've traded a lot. I've traded it. I've regretted it. I've made again much more than what I regretted, for example. But yeah, I'm been continuously in and out.
And would you say you trade crypto or forex more?
I used to trade a lot of crypto before when I was not even, very versed with trading. I was just randomly shooting, taking the signals, and some of the friends were like, okay, this is better. This is going to go up. This is going to go down. Okay, I was doing that because I was actually practicing. Yeah. So I didn't get time. Then I understood if I want to understand the whole market, I need to get to the basics. So when I went to the basics, I understood, okay, there is something called Forex. There's something called a global market. That is even bigger than crypto those times. Yeah, it was around $6.57 trillion traded every day.
What year was this?
2019, before Corona.
Okay,
before Corona.
You went back to the fundamentals. You realized there's a much bigger market than crypto, which is Forex. And tell me about how you got into your Forex journey. How did you learn Forex? What was your first impression of entering the Forex markets and becoming a trader?
So one of my friend introduced me to how to actually, open account, trade Forex back in India. It's quite tough to do all this stuff. Crypto is still okay, but for FX is like...
And it's still pretty...
It's still, exactly. Yeah. So he made me understand all this basic stuff of in and out. And from that, I used a lot of trading materials on internet, on YouTube. I bought courses. I've got my gurus. I've went to them. I've traveled Bangalore to understand how it works. I've attended seminars because I wanted to get deep dive. Until unless you do not know the foundation, the building doesn't stand. So I wanted to have a good foundation for my tallest building onto this subject and in this industry.
Trying to learn in so many avenues. You went to conferences. You studied, of course, YouTube University, buying courses, of course, researching on the internet. If you go back in time, what do you feel is the best way for a beginner trader to learn Forex trading?
Now, if I go back, there's one thing. Everybody have limited amount of time in this life. It doesn't come. You cannot buy time. You can buy everything, but you cannot time buy. So instead of going to X, Y, and Z places, the best way is just stay where you are. You get all the content on internet. If you are really, really dedicated, disciplined, and you want to do it by your heart, you can do it from wherever you are in a very short span of time. You just need to know the basics understanding of how the market moves.
Being an architect, in what ways do you think traders lack design in their trading?
What happens is when you have studied and practiced for over 10 plus years, you have developed a thought, you have developed an ideology, you have developed to see canvas in certain manner. There's a pattern, there's a system. It develops after so many years. It develops in your mind. So when I talk to a trader, they have a very technical, fundamental way of looking at the charts or the markets. Being an architect, coming from the design background, we don't see just the lines, the colors. We also see the in-depth relation of how it's gonna behave when it's built. Okay, similar way when I see the order block, for example, so I understand how it's gonna actually impact the overall scenario in the global market. For example, let's suppose if I see an order block of gold, for example, so I compare it how it's gonna actually impact the overall scenario, what's happening outside just the screen, because I have the imagination. So as a designer, we have an imagination power, which is much more needed being a trader. Okay, because what happens is on a longer run, you have always practiced in a very similar manner. So you have actually stuck to only that way of thinking and executing your trades. But if added with creativity, you can do wonders.
So you've been trading since 2016. What are obstacles that you struggled with in your trading journey?
Trading is like a profession, like it's a real profession. You cannot consider it as your side hustle. Yeah. For example, I've studied 6 years of my life for architecture. I've given that much amount. A doctor would study 5, 7, 8, 10 years just to practice it. His first client, his first patient would come after 6 years. My first client came after 5, 6 years. So when you think about trading, you need to dedicate 3, 4 years before that, before you enter the real market with big funds or, for example, professionally. Right now, if I see around, if I ask any trader what you are up to, okay, I'm doing trading, but I also manage the business. I'm doing this, I'm also doing that. It doesn't work like that. If you're trading, it has to be disciplined in such a manner that 24 hours, you think about it, you sleep with it, you eat with it, and you just live with it. That's when this profession has a beautiful nuance. Okay. Until then, you are just playing with the fireball.
So you don't think that trading should be a part-time hobby?
It can be, but if you really, really want to do big and in a very, if you want to manage the risk, because that's what matters, right? Whenever you trade, the only thing which matters is most important thing is the risk management. If you want to do that, your psychology needs to be well set, where the thoughts should be concentrated on one part, and it should not go on, okay, I'm doing the other things, going left or going right.
So I know that you do manual trading and you also do automated trading. When it comes to manual trading, what is your go-to when it comes to, your current trading plan and your risk management plan?
So to answer this, I'll take you back to the time when I was studying architecture. When I was into my first year till I graduated, there was a transaction across globe. So we started with hand drafting. Yeah, we designed buildings and we designed the whole city with our hands and a pencil and paper. But then after like 2 years down the line, the AutoCAD, the SketchUp, all these softwares came into the picture, and we have to, before we graduate, we have to get our hands on these kinds of tools and softwares, which actually was very tough on the start. But on the later stage, we understand that, using the Rhinos, using the SketchUp, using AutoCAD was much more simpler. It would save time for you to think on the design part, okay? Because you are not manually doing it. You are not actually wasting your time or putting a lot of efforts in the hard work. So similarly, when I entered into trading, when I saw the trading platform, I see whoever, like most of them who have the edge. Okay, obviously for them it's good, but right now we are actually entering into the AI, the quant. You see a lot of hedge funds right now. They've already started using the quantum computing and all that stuff with the AI. They are building the script, they are coding rather than having a traders team. They are actually now having a technical team who is actually making scripts for them, because of so much of transactions happening with the speed of light. Trading style needs to be faster. To accommodate that, we need to take help of AI. We need to take help of the tech. So I was very good at all the softwares, which we were provided back then. I was very good at grabbing them easily because it was actually saving time for me to go out and have fun in the college days. So I used the same scenario over here. I understood that how easy it is or how efficient it could be to use AI into trading platform. I started initially by making my own scripts because I knew a little part of coding because one of my cousin is a coder. So I took his help. I made my own scripts with whatever knowledge I had about trading, my strategies, and I somehow found that it was actually working, but not on the longer run, but it had an edge. Because of that, I was saving my time. Trading took 20 hours, 18 hours a day. Obviously, you don't trade the entire day, but you actually look at the chart for most of the time just to understand where the markets are going. It's good to be on the charts all the time, but not trading all the time. Yeah, there's a difference. But then when I used the scripts, I understood that, okay, by just doing that, whatever you are thinking, whatever you have in your head, you have actually put out with the AI and they are actually doing it for you. The same thing which you're going to do it. Any which ways, you're going to put the same buy order or sell order, which you're going to do it manually, waiting for that price to come to your point, for example. It was same happening, but by the AI bot. So I got in touch with people who are actually doing it since a very long time, and I took their help, and we are on the edge now. I've like different strategies. Everything is deployed not at the same time, but we on and off in the markets with this quant bot traders.
So do you prefer automated trading over manual trading?
Of course, yes, because it saves your time. It gives you good time to even think what you want to do in life.
Like a lot of people that I know that are doing automated trading says that it removes the human emotion, which makes a lot of sense. What are some flaws of automated trading?
Right now, if you see people, they do not understand actually in depth. A lot of people, whoever I've met, they have like little bots running, or they are doing automated tradings and all that stuff. When I talk to them, they don't understand how actually it works. You need to know the depth of the functionality of what you are actually using. For example, it comes with data science, it comes with trading algorithms, it comes with real-time market fundamentals fetching. They fetch the data into it. So if your strategy or your things are not aligned with that, it might be good for a short run, but if you're thinking about a very long term, you need to be developing it on a daily basis. You can actually say recalibrate on a daily basis or an alternate basis. For example, what we have done is not that we have designed something, we deploy it, and we mint money. It's not that easy. Okay, first of all, people who are the market is actually full of these things, where they think that okay, we have got something like a machine, we put in our funds, it will trade for us, it will give us the returns. It doesn't work like that. No matter how good the trading strategies are, it needs to be refined, probably on an alternate basis or a weekly basis or a daily basis at times. It depends on how the markets are moving.
I mean, I know nothing. I'm not an engineer. I'm not smart when it comes to developing and coding and stuff like that. But I know from a fact that, of course, you need to constantly update the bot based upon how the market conditions are, because it can go against you really quick.
Exactly. So you need to watch it the whole time. Whenever you are in the trade, we have people constantly monitoring. They are just actually not inside the market, but they're just monitoring the whole overall activity of the bot of the quant, which is actually doing the trades.
What is your current trading strategy when it comes to the currencies that your bot's trading?
So it's USD JPY, it's Euro USD as well. So this both are like much we are doing. Like 90% of our strategies works on this both.
Is it all major pairs, like so everything USD?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was gonna say, is it good to have a bot with the same strategy focusing on multiple pairs, or is it just good to focus on one pair?
You have a pair, there's a different script for it for the quarter. Okay, maximum for the quarter is going to work for it. After that quarter, you need to change it.
There's thousands and thousands of trading bots on the market. What makes your trading bot so different?
How we stand apart from all these things is we do not just trade with these bots. We have people behind the bots who are actually monitoring it on a daily basis. It's not like that we have designed it, we have put it, and we are done, and we are just thinking, okay, it's going to mint money. No, there are times when we have to manually enter the market or get out of the market because the market scenario reverses, and that reverse sometimes it is not being captured by the bot.
And the people that you've built around this bot, your technical team, are these like quant traders? What kind of like classifications are these people? How experienced are they?
It's also a quite good story how I met these people. So while I was venturing into this industry, I was quite new. I came to Dubai with a lot of hopes that I'm gonna do something with the metaverse, do something with the blockchain and all that stuff. So when I met people who are actually managing their own hedge funds. Yeah, they are the owner of the hedge funds, quite old, like 15-year-old hedge funds, not quite renowned, but they are doing really good into their own, with their own clients. So when I was sitting, talking, going around with these people, because of them, I came to know they are using this kind of quant funds, which they have just deployed on the 30-40% of their overall funds. So they're also not using their complete funds for the quant trading. So with them, I got people who are actually the technical heads of this kind of hedge funds. Obviously, this remains confidential, which hedge fund and who this persons are. But yeah, so I've developed my own team, and then it is being trained by the whole team of theirs. It's actually been trained, and now we're good to go.
Speaking about Dubai, What drew you to Dubai from India?
The urban fabric actually was fascinating for me to come to Dubai to start looking for architecture and interior work before the first time I came to Dubai. But then later I understand people over here are so much well versed with their own subjects. So for example, my technical team, they are the best according to me. And I cannot find those kind of people anywhere, not just per se India, anywhere across the globe than Dubai.
And what are you currently doing right now in your life, being 29, being in Dubai? What projects are you working on?
I've got few sites back there in India. So we are designing villas over there. We are designing a resort which is in the middle of jungle, and there's a lions across the resort. It's a boutique resort, and few other sites which are coming up, the residential buildings. So my team is actually taking care of all those things. And here in Dubai, I'm on a verge to get my own hedge fund registered very soon.
What does success look like to you? Do you think you've made it yet, being 29 and being here in Dubai, or do you think you have more to achieve?
Nobody knows when their last day is. Yeah. So you need to be very content on every day as soon as you're up and the night you sleep. You need to be very much content, and you just need to be on a vibration that you are successful, you have made it. You never know how big you can go, and you can never know when will be your last day. Just the two questions. Yeah. If you can answer these two questions, you'd understand what success looks like. Success looks like now, right now with you doing this podcast. This is what success would be. Somebody who's actually watching this podcast, trading their charts, helping their family, or doing some odd job. Okay, that is success for you. It doesn't come the far way. Okay, you cannot see success. Okay, I can see success when I'm there or when I'm there. No, success is where you are and how far you have come. That is what success should be measured.
I like that. Success is in the present moment. And if we were to go the materialistic route, how much money is enough money, net worth wise? Is it 50 million, 100 million, 1 billion?
You should always compare this in terms of how much well you could spend this. Having it is one thing, but spending it in a good way is another thing. Helping others, for example, or living your own lifestyle is another thing. I've seen people have millions, like multi-millions, and if you see the way they live, or for example the way their day looks like, it is no compared to people who's earning thousands, for example. There's a difference in how much you have and how you live. My company, we're gonna build a boarding school back in India, and we are also planning to have a boarding school here in Dubai. It's gonna take, obviously it's a signature project, so it's gonna take a while. So I've already made the draft, how the school would look like, how much land it would require, what are the activities which would come into the school, because the future is also education. When you ask me, let's come back to the question, how much money you think is enough for me, for my team to replicate this kind of institutions across the globe. So the new generation who comes, think about the future. There will be flying cars, there will be buildings, super high rises, there will be underground buildings as well, bunkers, wars is coming, the pandemics are coming. So if you think about all that stuff, the humanity need to be ready with that. And they cannot be trained at homes. They cannot be trained in the offices. They will be trained in the schools. They will be trained when they are actually developing their mind and their vision of the world.
I really like your vision when it comes to reshaping the education system. But yeah, Akash, it's been a pleasure having you on this podcast. I'm finally glad that we were able to set this up, and I hope to collaborate with you in the future soon.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.